You killed the Slayer with a gun.
In our own backyard. Don't underestimate science, my friends. Good old-fashioned metal meets propulsion.
Oh man, this is gonna be good.
Oh, the best. The town is ours.
Ours, maybe. You are screwed.
Metal meets propulsion, yeah. But you still better be a good shot.
Hey there, this is episode 123 of Revisiting Sunnydale. Hello, I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella.
It's time to talk Sunnydale. We are almost at the end of season 6.
No.
Womp, womp, womp.
But it's so good.
It's like I love it. I'll miss ya. But we are just about ready to move on to that final Buffy season.
Mm-hmm. With this one, though, it's like when people say, a lot of people have problems with this season, with Buffy and Spike and everything that goes on.
Yeah.
And they tend to rank it quite low. And I'm like, did y'all forget about the last 3 episodes, though?
Right. Those are big. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's not, this whole season isn't really just about, like, there's a lot of Spike and Buffy stuff that happens, but it's the subtlety of what's going on with Willow and Tara. Like, that's seemingly the B plot in this entire season, but then, you know, it all just like all of a sudden, like these last 3-4 episodes, it's like, holy shit, no, this is the real story.
Holy shit.
This is the real story right here. Like, all that bullshit with Spike and Buffy, that was just a bunch of misdirection. The real story is about Willow's journey and the travesty that happened. Okay, so before we forget, there's many ways to keep up with us. You can visit our Facebook page, Revisiting Sunnydale. You can find us on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale. We are also on Instagram at RVS_podcast, or just go to the website, revisitingsunnydale.com. And also, always, please support us on the different platforms of where to find your podcast. Subscribe, so that way you don't have to go searching for us each time. It'll just get directly plugged into your ear holes via Apple Podcasts, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Player FM.
And next time we'll look for a different word for ear holes.
It just makes me think. I blame Archer. That's where I got that from.
I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want anything in my ear hole.
So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is we're recording the first podcast for the new year of 2021.
And it's shit already.
I don't even, you know what?
Crazy.
I don't fucking care. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm defecting. I'm going to move to fucking France or something. I'm brushing up on my French.
Like, you look at each different country and you're like, nah, they're fucked up too.
Mm-hmm.
No, UK? No, they got Boris Johnson.
Yeah, it's all like, you know, it's just a matter of what you're willing to put up with. Like
right.
Trying to figure out the pros versus the cons of each place in which you are escaping to. But I don't know, man. To be honest, like I don't have the energy for America anymore.
Right? I'm exhausted.
It's like, you guys are really bumming me out. I'm really trying to be like all Pollyanna and bright side of things, but damn it, every day it's something new.
Right? It's like when your parents would crush your soul by saying, I'm not mad.
I'm disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
Ooh, somehow that's worse.
It's so much worse. You're like, I am a piece of shit. To think that you're a piece of shit and like
right.
You're like, oh. And that's how America's making me feel right now. Y'all are bumming me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need everybody to get their act together. Just tighten it up, man. Come on. Mm-hmm. This shit's not funny. It's just far beyond anything imaginable and blah.
Which is why I keep escaping into other things.
Yeah, such as?
My non-Buffy thing that I'm obsessed right now is Twins in the New Trend.
What does that
on
even
YouTube.
mean? Okay.
Those
those
guys.
guys.
Yes, that watch videos for music they've never heard before. And every time I'm like, how the hell have you never heard this song before?
It's amazing to me.
But they've said before that they didn't get a phone until they were 18 and they grew up in a church household.
Okay.
So,
all right. I can see that. And they probably didn't have cable either. Yeah.
Right.
Probably were very high or really monitored on the internets.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Wait,
there's so many
how old
different
are they?
music is that I think they're like 22 or 23.
Okay. All right.
So they got a lot of catching up to do.
They sure do. There's a lot. I think I've only watched a couple of them, but the one that I have found the most comedic for me anyway is that when they discover Ricky Martin living La Vida Loca, and they're like, I think this might be some sort of like a Latin thing. Yes. Yes, it is, dear.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. What I love about them is that it's so rare that you get to see somebody enjoy something for the first time. Well, it used to be so rare. Now there's a reaction video for reaction videos.
Right?
But
it's like, I need y'all to calm it down.
Right? But when you find one that you like, and they are a joy to watch, like they are just a joy. It tickles me to no end, and it's all types of music. They will listen to anything.
And I love it. It's like I watched I think the Phil Collins one was the one that everybody was talking about. That's when they kind of blew up Shuated. And then I watched him watch Dolly Parton's Jolene.
The Jolene is hilarious. But I subscribe to it, so it pops up. It's like my daily news. I go to YouTube and I watch my favorite channels. I'm like, oh, they have a new one, you know. And then I'll fall in a hole sometimes of some old ones that they've done that I like. Last night I watched for I think the second time because it cracks me up is Mariah Carey's "We Belong Together."
Oh man, wow! They really were
blown
sheltered.
Away.
They were really sheltered.
Yeah.
Like not even.
And they were like, "We gotta listen to more Mariah Carey."
Like honestly, like what black household has not listened to Mariah Carey?
Well, okay, so they did one of their old videos is Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You."
Mm-hmm.
And they stopped it right at. They were like, "Wow, I thought she was fat."
Wow.
They're like, from her voice, I thought she was fat. I'm like, oh, fellas,
boys,
you got some learning to do about political correctness.
Sweet babies.
But I mean, they just did Cameo.
Oh, jeez.
And to see them like really get into it, and I commented and told them about another bad creation, but I can't remember if it was Playground or
Aisha?
The other one that I told them to listen
Aisha?
to. Yeah. So I can't remember, but they did Playground.
Did they?
So yeah, and it was funny.
I have to look for that one.
Well, it like they start out and they're like, wait a minute, are these kids? They look like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years old. Like that they're so little. But then you can see him get into it and it's cute. So that's my new non-Buffy thing I'm obsessed with right now.
I appreciate the fact that they're able to I guess they do what, like a video a day or something? Like damn, like
I think they do like 7 a day.
God.
Yeah.
Bless their 22-year-old souls.
If people are like donating to them and, you know.
Bless their 22-year-old souls.
Right? If I could make a career out of it.
Yes. Speaking of, if you would like to support the podcast and my creative endeavors, I have a Patreon page now. So you can find me. You can find Rugged Angel Productions or under Camila Adams and just, kind of help support the shows and things of that nature and podcasts and videos. And I'll do more things if I get more supporters.
I was like, I should do a reaction video. How many things will make me cry before the end of it? Do you know how many songs you're just like, yeah, and then you're like, oh, damn it.
This is too real. This is way too real.
Crying? Try to make me not cry.
Well, the non-Buffy related thing that I was obsessed with and still kind of am, but I finished it. I binged Killing Eve finally. Like,
okay, you finally got through it.
Finally went through it. Like, I think I'd started it like 3 years ago on an airplane, and I was like, no, I need to watch this in proper setting. And then I just now finally got into it, and boy, was I late. Like, that shit was awesome. Like, I love every bit of it. I tried,
but I couldn't get past the 3rd episode.
I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. It's so good.
I think I'm just not there yet. I need to wait.
Yeah.
Until I'm ready to watch it.
Right, exactly. Because if I Yeah, because you really gotta be in it. Like you gotta, I guess there's a certain mood, but there's also like you have to be paying attention also. And that's just like, you know, that was my little thing. That was my treat for like the last 3 weeks or whatever. It was like, okay, now it's time for another episode of Killing Eve. And you know, you know, I'm finished now. I think there's 3 seasons. I'm assuming it's coming back for a 4th. I'm not sure, but if they ended it the way they ended it, like I'm fine with that too. But like the woman who plays Villanelle, the assassin, she's so good. Like
She is great.
And I didn't know anything about her before this. You know,
I love when she tips that girl's ice cream in her lap.
Yes.
I'm like, she's a dick. I like it.
I know, that was what I was immediately like. Yeah, I'm in. This is for me. I like went so far. Like, I didn't order it yet, but I did go ahead and like add the books from that Killing Eve was based upon on my wish list, on my Amazon wish list.
The books or the audiobooks?
No, the books. Because I'm still like, because I'm not driving anywhere anymore. Audiobooks don't help me.
I can't pay attention to them if I'm not in my car.
Right, exactly. Like
I've tried putting them on
like,
the
what
Echo
am I gonna
show
do
while I'm working.
Well, what am I gonna do? Like sit and stare while I listen to it?
I'm just in there trying to work, and I'm like, wait, what'd they say?
Right. I can't. You can't work and listen to it at the same time. Like sometimes I can get away with working and listening to a podcast, but not an audiobook. That's yeah. If I'm not in my car anymore, it's like, what's the fucking point? That's why I finally
They're trying to get me to sit long enough to like I can watch TV, but I can't sit long enough to read an actual book anymore. I'll fall asleep.
I have definitely. I've been reading a little bit more lately. I've been reading. Currently, I'm reading I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou because I have never read it. I never had to read it. I know like most people my age or had to read it in school at some point, but for whatever reason, I didn't have to. And it's a slow start. It's a slow start.
It's a creeper.
Yeah, I almost just gave up after the first chapter. I was like, never mind.
Cliff notes. Is there a YouTube version of this? I was
like, God, there was a movie, right?
Easy now.
There was a movie, right? Like,
I really, really would have done.
Yeah, but I finally,
better.
I'm like halfway through the book, and it's more interesting. So or at least now I'm like getting more used to, because I think this is the first thing I've read by Maya Angelou outside of a poem or two, several poems. But her writing style and storytelling style is not something that I was used to. And so I'm just now like I'm like, I got the groove. It's like, okay, now I get how you're doing this. I got it. All right, let's go on. Let's finish. We got 16 more chapters. Let's go, Maya.
And when I can get into a book, I'll get into it. Like, don't talk to me. Don't text. Don't. I'm off the grid. Leave me alone.
So that's what we're doing. But in the meantime,
speaking of off the grid.
In the meantime and in between time, we got season 6, episode 20, Villains. Original air date May 14th, 2002. Written by Marty Noxon. Directed by David Solomon. A vengeful Willow uses her enormous power to track down Warren, despite Buffy's strong feelings about targeting humans. I don't want to say targeting. I would imagine murdering, killing.
She has some strong feelings too, and it's like, stop. You do know who we're talking about here, right?
Right. You were willing to kill Faith over Angel.
Over Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thought you had killed Faith. Like, so.
I thought you liked Tara.
I don't know, Buffy. So, important guest stars, co-stars. We got Danny Strong as Jonathan, Adam Bush as Warren, Tom Lenk as Andrew, Jeff Kober. I have never said his real name out loud. Rack. James C. Leary as Clem. Yay, and Amber Benson as Tara, and it just kind of laying their role.
It should just say Tara Corpse.
Right. All right, so yeah.
First off, this is absolutely one of my top 5 favorite episodes of Buffy.
Really?
And it just gets better each time I watch it. And I remember when this episode came on, my cable went out the second it started.
Ooh.
So I called my friend Jen, screaming, and I said, "Put the phone by the TV!" As I scrambled to find rabbit ears to try and hook up to my TV. I'm mean, we ended last week with that.
Right. With
I had been waiting a whole week to see this episode, and the cable went out right as it started. I was livid.
So, boys and girls who were not privy to what it was like in 2002, there wasn't a such thing as, digital programming. It was appointment TV.
It was.
That's what it was.
TV.
It was on the air when it was on the air at that time and date and place. And if you were not there, you had to wait until summertime to catch the reruns, or
if it came on,
right, or wait 2 years to buy the VHS.
And have to petition to get the DVDs in the U.S.
Right. Or pray to God one of your friends were as obsessive as you and recorded all of them on VHS.
And luckily, Jen was a real friend, and she laid that phone right next to the TV so I could listen.
That's what you do. When your friends are down and out and their cable goes out.
You know your ride or die.
Right. You lay your phone down by the speaker of the television.
And it's exciting. It is all happening. Willow's freaking out. Buffy's, she looks like she's dying.
Yeah, so the paramedics get there for Buffy, but no one still knows about Tara. And Willow is up there freaking the fuck out and calls on Osiris, and he's not very helpful and he's kind of pissed.
Well, and it kind of makes no sense because the room has gone dark and stormy, and we know that it's on the same side as the yard because the shot went through the window.
Right.
So can they not see the dark and stormy going on? There's lightning going off.
Right. And I was just attributing it to, there's Buffy is shot, and Xander, he's got to be just wigging out and maybe just doesn't notice or doesn't have time to compute, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
Well, think about his stupid butt had to run all the way into the house to use the house phone because it's 2002. We don't really have cell phones.
Right.
At least I don't think any of the gang did. They were still sporting beepers, I think.
Yeah, and if they did have a cell phone, it would have still been in the house charging because you have to charge it for 12 hours in order to have an hour use.
So he had to run into the house, call 911. Mm-hmm. He should have heard her crying.
He should have heard that. Yeah.
And then run back outside to tend to Buffy, unless he just ran into the kitchen, grabbed the phone.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that lead me to believe that he should have been aware or asked some questions about Tara or what's going on sooner. Because so Osiris is I can't help you because this death was by human hands, and it's the natural order of things, not my problem. And Willow is not happy with that.
Not at all. She hits that Willow tone in her voice, that restrained cry, and I'm like, oh no, here she goes.
All right, and then Osiris is also like, but wait a minute, you already raised one human from the dead by mystical forces, so I'm gonna need you to leave me the fuck alone.
And she somehow vomits power at him.
Yeah, and he's like,
I don't know if she killed him.
All right, I got you.
Or expelled him back to his house, but he was like, ow!
I'm gonna remember that. It's his reaction. As Buffy's getting loaded into the ambulance, Willow comes out all dazed and pissed, and Xander tells her what happened, but he does not ask her about all the blood on her chest.
Not at all. Not even a mention of it.
No.
You okay? What?
Why the blood? What's happening? And
he does seem a little confused, but he's just like, what? Okay.
And she just walks off. He tells her, what happened with Buffy. Buffy's getting loaded into the ambulance, and she's like, Warren, and just goes off down the street. But Xander gets into the ambulance, and they go off to the hospital. Meantime, Jonathan and Andrew are in custody. And they are squabbling.
This whole scene is just so, by today's standards, so offensive.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Because, there's a whole thing about, Jonathan is scared that some inmate is looking at him because he wants to make him his butt monkey. Because he's got small hands like a girl. And, and I do, I like how Andrew's like, oh, calm down. This isn't Oz. It's more like Mayberry.
Right. And we find out that they've been trying to call different people to come get them out of jail, but nobody's answering the phone, not even Andrew's one aunt.
Which I feel like he probably hasn't been around.
Right?
Was he living with her? Where are his parents? Why are his
right? Wouldn't you call your brother Tucker, who is like well versed in the magic arts,
Yeah, you would think
to come bust you out?
unless there's just like this real heavy competition going on with them and they just don't speak because they're each trying to be the big bad or big
Or
warlock.
he finds him pathetic.
Yep. And Tucker has moved on to bigger things or realized the error of his ways. Either way, Jonathan and Andrew are sitting in a jail cell and they're also arguing about Warren. And Jonathan is like, oh, yeah, I can see now. I know you bitches were going to leave me.
No, we weren't. I was going to carry you. No, you weren't.
No,
You really weren't.
No.
It's cute though.
But
Nice try.
Yeah. But Andrew has faith that Warren is going to come get them, and take two. Warren is not thinking about those boys. He is at some demon
even
bar.
a little bit.
No, at some demon bar, being extra douchey.
He went out and bought a suit.
And some of the
A
ugliest
leisure
sunglasses.
suit at that.
Yes. Yes, he had time to go do all this. So he went out and celebrated, spent some celebratory money, and then decided to go to a demon bar and start bragging about killing the Slayer because he let the tree, like he was part of the trio. You've heard of us. And,
Nope.
he cut those boys loose and he's ready for a real gang to take over Sunnydale.
The balls on this human. Like, you're not shit, right?
Right. You roll up into a demon bar and start talking all this madness to this vampire who is just trying to enjoy his program.
About crocodiles.
I love the way
And
that
the
he's...
bartender.
I love the
who
way
looks
he
like a
talks
fish.
about. I love the way he talks about it like that's something my
program.
grandmother would say. Not now. My program is on.
Right? I half expected it to be a soap opera.
Right. I wish it had been. I really did.
Just like vampires love passions. If it had been passions, I would have just lost it. That's a missed opportunity.
It is.
But the bartender's face kind of looks like Jasmine's face on Angel when it's all, it's just
Yeah.
missing the maggots.
Yeah. Instead of
Gross.
maggots, there's like piercings.
Hmm.
It's
It's an unattractive face.
It is. So Warren just going on and on and on. And then he's like talking about how, it was just good old fashioned science. I tried the dark arts and all that other jazz, but I shot her. And then I guess a news story came on earlier about a young lady who was shot in her backyard who has survived the gunshot wound. And the vampire and bartender are both hysterical with with chuckles there.
I love how Warren's like, what's the joke?
Right.
What? I don't.
This isn't the evil laugh of victory.
But that news story was a little premature, though, because we haven't even gotten to the part where Willow comes into the hospital and actually saves the day.
Right.
So how did they know she was going to survive?
Exactly.
But in the meantime,
slow
Willow
news day in
has
Sunnydale.
gone to the magic box and she wants all the dark arts books.
Yeah. And Anya sort of tries to stop her.
No, please don't. And,
Willow, I can't let you do that.
We should keep them somewhere other than just upstairs.
You know what? These are some mystical, darkest of black magic arts books. If they're in the wrong hands, it can be detrimental to our world, and it could destroy everything. How do we protect it? How do we protect them? Put them on a high shelf.
Right?
Because
No lock, no key, no.
clearly anybody who doesn't know what they're doing
Doesn't want to go up.
right, they don't want to climb up a ladder. That's just too much.
So bad. So bad.
But Willow, gets all her books and she loads up on some dark arts and back at the Summers house.
Oh, baby Dawn. Oh, poor baby Dawn.
Dawn,
You've had the worst. Yeah, you're like, hey, who's home? Why's my door open? You live in Sunnydale, baby. Don't go in that house.
No, doors open. You get the fuck out. You go to Janice's and call somebody.
Right. But no, she goes in looking for anybody and dead body. She finds Tara.
And, breaks down, which, yeah, seems about right. That's exactly what would happen.
And now I have a question. So while Warren's on his way to Rax, and they talk about how he shot Buffy
Mm-hmm.
at the bar. Why is it that after this, even though she survived, why do the vampires not use guns? Most other vampire movies we watch,
Right.
they use guns.
Right.
I mean, Twilight, they don't really use guns, but now I did just get done watching Underworld this weekend. I did a big, massive watch of the whole trilogy.
Yikes.
So I'm used to vampires with guns, UV bullets. It all
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Why aren't you guys fighting with guns?
I don't know. It's just
So you've got crossbows and pointy sticks and sometimes swords.
maybe it's just well, I mean, I guess even the vampires that come from other places never have them either. But like,
No.
I find Sunnydale to be a small and podunk town. As to where, so like
It's no tech.
right? Yeah, exactly. Like these vampires, they're just like, it just seems like a lot. And also maybe like most of them, I think the large majority of them, they're just drinking at this bar. Like they're not
At this
doing
other
anything.
bar that's not Willie's.
Right. Like it's only like the small few like Spike and Willow and Drew and them that roll into town like I'm gonna take it over. And the rest of them are just like, I just wanna have some drinks, kill a human here or there, but watch my crocodile programs and just be on my way.
Have some buffalo wings.
Right. It's really high. They're not really in it for like the high stakes. They're trying to live forever and they just want less interaction.
They don't want to die.
Right. They're just like, you know what? I'm just trying to live out my Lost Boys fantasy. That's all.
Right. That is true. That is true. Now, one of our favorite listeners, Jody, she mentioned how
Jody.
cute Anya's collars are in this episode.
They
And
are
when Willow
adorable.
drains out the power, they are so cute.
They are adorable.
I hate the pants, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of pants that have a clear line down the crotch.
Yeah.
Because then it's just like your eye goes directly to that visible line on the crotch.
Yeah. It's unsettling. I'm not here for it. But yeah, the collar is really cute. And it's also, I don't know. It's funny knowing that she's back to a vengeance demon and she's wearing this like, really cute little
Really cute little,
dainty.
She dressed for work. She
Yeah,
got to be dressed for work. Do you think she just popped her clothes on and teleported to work? Or
Right.
did she
actually like take a bus or, drive?
She have a car? No, because she doesn't know how to drive. She drives with her hands.
Right.
That,
And not the
that one
correct way.
dream.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Sunnydale is like what, 12 blocks? So she walked.
She probably walks everywhere. I hate Rack.
So Warren goes to Rack.
I shiver every time. Like, he sends cold shivers up my spine. I can't. Ugh.
Like,
And now he's on General Hospital all the time, and he's aged so much.
yeah, I don't know what this guy did before he was Rack, but
China Beach, Tank Girl.
okay, I was not familiar with him. So he will always forever be Rack to me. He just shows up in
And he's in that other episode of Buffy.
right, yeah. But still, always Rack. It's a very distinct role. And when he was on Sons of Anarchy, that's all I was seeing, just Rack. And yeah, and the General Hospital thing. My nanny watches it, and so I walked into the room the other day, and he was on. I was like, ah.
Well, it used to be that I would watch General Hospital and say, "Oh, it's Rack." Now I'm watching this episode, and all I hear is Cyrus. I'm like, "Ugh, it's Cyrus." Ugh.
So Warren goes to Rack, and he's like, I need some magics. And Rack is like, I guess. Warren comes bearing Benjamins. So he's got
Lots
some money.
of them.
Yeah, he's got some money. He pays Rack, and he's like, I need some protection from the Slayer. And Rack's like, whoa. Buffy ain't your problem.
After he insults him, because he, again, is like, I'm the leader of the trio. Yeah, you know us. No. Sorry. What were you, a band? I think is what he asked him.
So Rack is being all spooky and whatnot. He's like, I smell death and ooh. And Warren's like, no, Buffy's not dead. And he's like, it's the witch you got to worry about because you killed her
Warren
girlfriend.
shits himself.
She's like,
Witch? What witch? What? I didn't do anything. What'd I do to her? Okay, I shot her best friend. That in itself is enough, my friend.
yeah. So you've come to the conclusion. you figured it out. It's like, nope, somebody else, somebody's dead, and it's her girlfriend. And he's like, I need just Rack's like, do you want magic to hide or fight? And he's like, both. I need it all. Give it all to me.
I do like when he's like, oh, let's talk about my skin troubles. Warren does have a couple plucky lines here and
He
there.
does, but I also feel like, Warren, you're really in no position
Right? To be a dick.
Right.
You're asking me for help.
to anybody. He could just he could pop Willow in there right now if he wanted to be an asshole and be like, "Boop,
Right.
there he is, come get him."
Go get her.
Right. So Warren gets his stuff from Rack, and Buffy is being operated on with apparently in the, what do they call it? A gallery or the
Theater?
the theater? Yes.
When have you ever seen a surgery room like this where the family can just stand at the window and watch?
Or just like anybody. Yeah, this is like a regular room. This is
Right.
like there's people walking by holding teddy bears.
It's not. And
And the
they
swing
should've
door?
cut her shirt off.
It's not sanitary. Like there's a
None
swing
of it.
door, but just coming right in there.
It's so fake. It's all, and there's so many machines in there that they've not attached any of them to her. And
No,
in
there's
real
not.
life, the paramedics would have cut her shirt off. They don't care about them tiny little titties. They
Right.
they're cutting all your clothes off.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, they've like carefully pushed her shirt aside.
We're going to work around it. It's what the fuck? It's a gunshot wound.
There would be a deep gash in her chest, and
Yeah.
there'd be forceps like propping things open
Exactly. It's like you're not going to fix anything with what you're doing right now.
and
'Cause
tweezers.
it's not a splinter. Like I need you to get in there.
And then the lights start to flicker, and we see that Willow has arrived.
She tells everybody to get
And
out.
Xander's like, "What the fuck? Where did she come from? Where did?" And she tells everyone to get the fuck out,
And they do.
and they do.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, another missed opportunity. They all should have been lined up at that window, watching what she was doing,
Right. But
or something, getting police or anybody really, because I guess we're just not going to talk about the fact that she pulled a bullet out of her chest magically,
Right.
and Buffy just got up and left.
yeah, exactly. She just no big. You know, I'm gonna levitate this bullet out of you. And Buffy wakes up like, what happened? Where am I?
Let's just walk around with our buddy clothes on.
Right. Xander is relieved, and Willow's like, we don't have time for this. Let's go find Warren. And they're like, huh? Okay.
And Warren's off at the bus station being a dick.
Why a bus station though? Like, why didn't you try to get on a plane?
I don't know.
Like bus, it's ground transportation. Like, why? How is that?
It's slow.
Right.
And it's the slowest of the ground. You
Right.
could have rented a car
Exactly.
and made better time.
Plus, it's much easier for her to find you and to get to you.
Right?
Like I would have enjoyed a scene if he was on an airplane and her like levitating up into the sky and snatching him out of a plane. That would have been dope.
So cool. But instead, she's stuck in Xander's purple car.
And she's in the back seat and she's just telling Xander where to go, and it's just, you're right, I don't know why she needed them with her.
I don't like. Did she want to hear that she shouldn't do it? Was she
Right.
clinging on to some kind of
Yeah.
last speck of goodness?
Perhaps.
It's not like she needed the car. She could have teleported herself there.
Right. So like, and then eventually, you know, Xander's not driving fast enough for her, so eventually she takes over the wheel magically. And
She's not happy about, understandably.
Xander's like, okay, Puppet Master wants to drive, then fine.
Drive my Ford Taurus.
So, yeah, and on the car ride, you know, Buffy and Xander are questioning like the black hair and all that stuff and like what's going on, and they still at this point still don't know what happened to Tara. They find Warren's bus. Willow stops the bus, gets on the bus, snatches Warren out of the bus.
I love that she didn't even have to snatch him up, though. She just said, get out. And she didn't even say it to anyone in particular. She just said, get out. And I don't understand why she sped the bus up to stop it in front of her. It was a little
dramatic
strange.
effect.
And then I don't understand why this bus is still hanging out. It would have made me laugh hard if the bus would have, as soon as he got out, just kept going.
Right. Like, this isn't your responsibility, Mr. Bus Driver.
Right.
So she grabs Warren by the throat and she starts to squish. And then his eyeball pops out and, oh my God, it's a robot.
And we get another again. It's a robot. That's the second time a character has used that phrase. It's a robot. Why does he have a robot version of himself? I don't even want to think about what he made that thing do.
Gross.
Ugh. How many times has he used it too?
It's just, yeah. Because I don't even, maybe to go to school? I don't know.
To do his shopping?
Perhaps.
And again, was she seriously just going to kill him in front of all those people? And why is that bus still there? After she kills the robot version, it still should be just pulling off slowly.
Yeah. Like, what are you guys waiting for?
Why aren't you screaming?
Maybe she put a spell on him, on everybody else, or she probably would have wiped their memories had she actually been able to, if that was Warren and she did kill him. So now, Xander and Buffy are trying to stop her still, and she's like, he killed Tara. And they're like, they sit with that for a hot second. And, oh, sorry. Oh, my condolences. And then, and she's like, I'm going to kill him. And Buffy's giving her the whole, we don't kill human speech. And you're on the magics again. And da-da-da-da. And Willow doesn't want to hear any of it.
Nope, not any of it.
She's not interested, which...
She is killing this scene, too.
Yeah. Like...
Just the subtle rage and... Buffy trying to convince her it's too much. The magic is too strong. You're not going to come back. And the phrase, I'm not coming back.
Yes. So good.
So good.
It's so good. And then she like zaps him to the ground to just kind of like slow him down and get off her ass.
And then teleports away.
Yep.
Again, why didn't you teleport there?
Why didn't you just do that in the first place? You could have saved a lot of time. So she goes home or wherever.
Saving time.
Yeah. They go.
Why didn't John call the police?
It's like deep in the nighttime now. Like, right? I'm going to assume, because like judging by where the sun was when they were at the bus with Willow, maybe it was like 4:00 at this point. Thus, Dawn was probably got home like around 2. Maybe she came out of school or something, 2, 3 o'clock maybe. It's full on dark. It's like 9 p.m. by now.
We're going to say it's at least 4 hours. She's been sitting in a room with a dead body.
Yeah. In the dock, on the floor. Just, I mean, I guess shell shock, sure. But,
I mean, this is the second mom she's lost in a year. Like,
yeah.
In a 2-year time frame. This is the second mother figure that's been taken from her and that she's had to sit next to a dead body.
Right.
This girl needs therapy.
She does. And I really wish there had been more talk about therapy for at least one character in this show.
Right? And then you're going to make Buffy a guidance counselor? Worst decision ever. Ever. But in the meantime, the coroner has come and they're taking the body down the stairs. There's no police in sight. There's mention of them coming back with their yellow tape in the morning.
Right.
That's not how any of this would have gone down. I don't think they'd be allowed to stay there tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it'd just be this active crime scene. Like, maybe not so much inside the house because Willow stole the bullet. And maybe outside of it. And also, maybe there would have gone down for question. I don't know. Maybe since they all knew exactly who it was, that it was Warren and there was only one dead body. I don't know.
The cops suck.
Yeah.
Policing in this town is terrible.
It is. So, now Willow, Xander, or Buffy, Xander, and Dawn are trying to figure out what to do about Willow. There doesn't seem to be a lot of urgency, but I'm going to assume, they're still all a little grief stricken right now. And Buffy's like, if Willow finds Warren, she's going to kill him. And Dawn's like, good.
I agree.
And I'm like, bet. Yeah, Dawn, you're right. She's like, if I could do it, I would. She's like, if I could, I'd be the one to do it. And Buffy's like, you don't mean that. You're just like, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Right. and Xander too, out of the mouth of babes.
Exactly.
Like, that's how I mean, fuck Warren.
And then, Buffy goes on her whole tangent again about how, there's rules in the human world and I don't make those rules and I don't have a license to kill humans and da 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 da.
And again, I hear Faith's whole argument. Aren't you better?
Right.
Like, you are better. You should be in charge of things like this and he has done supernatural things. So you can be judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
It's not like he has killed humans.
Right.
And if the podunk town that you live in is not gonna handle this situation, you gotta handle your shit.
I get it. It's like, go get this dude. Or, let Willow have the joy of doing it. But, again, like the whole Buffy's main argument here is that Willow she's going to cease to be Willow if she succeeds in all of this.
Okay, so stop sitting on your ass and go out and find Warren and take him to the cops.
Right, exactly.
And then try to protect all three of them at the police station.
Right. Like that should have, don't look for Willow, look for Warren.
Right.
And just let her do what she's going to, she'll figure it out.
You're sitting there with your thumbs up your butt talking about where Dawn is going to spend the night.
So, yes, we have that whole thing, okay, so me and Xander are going to go off and do this thing. Dawn, you can't come. It's too dangerous. You need to go somewhere where you feel safe. She's like, cool, I want to go to Spike's.
Xander has a shit. He has puppies. He literally shits out a litter of puppies on the floor.
Which, rightfully so. There's not many times where I agree with Xander Harris.
Like,
but,
oh yeah, let her stay with attempted rape. She's like, no.
It's like, no, ixnay on the ape ray. Like, no, Buffy. Like, that's not okay.
It's not okay.
Because nobody is coming for Dawn, first and foremost. So no one really needs to be like the super protector for Dawn. But then like in the long,
anyway.
Yeah, and like in the long run, you end up leaving her with Clem, who he's not a fighter. Like you may as well.
Why didn't she just go to Janice's?
Right at that point, just like send her across the street. Like shit. Like you just don't want her.
Even before that, she's not in danger.
No, you just don't want her in the house. Understandable. Go to Janice's. So she
ends up with Clem doing taste tests and watching videos, which is cute, but still odd.
It's just, it's weird. Like they're not that if she's had a couple interactions with Clem, like it's just the people or monsters or the beings that Buffy chooses to leave Dawn with. It's so questionable. Like they're like why?
She always says, "You're my sister. I love you. You're my sister." But then she turned around and she's like, I don't really care about this person. She gets him away. I don't really care. Just anybody can watch her.
Right.
Somebody want to watch her?
Anybody will do. Excuse me, homeless man under the bridge. Oh, could you watch my sister for me for a few hours? Willow's doing a locator spell.
Yeah, why don't they do those more often?
Because it's only convenient when it works when it's convenient to the plot. Whatever they need it's like this. They got locator spells coming out of their ass in this episode, and yet they've always been just like, how do we find so and so? Do a locator spell,
right? And she does it this time using the blood on her shirt, which reminds me of Warlock, the movie Warlock, back in the day when he would make maps out of people's blood.
I did not see that movie.
That's what this scene reminds me of.
Interesting. So yeah, after Buffy drops, while Buffy is dropping Dawn off with Clem, she finds out that Spike pieced out. He left town, and Clem is crypt sitting, and she's like, "Why did he leave? Where did he go? How long is he gonna be gone?" And Clem's like, "Yo, I don't know. I'm just here.
Why do you care?
I'm just here watching my programs and eating bugles."
He loves his bugles.
Do you want me to watch your sister or what?
I don't appreciate when he flips his arm skin.
No. So Buffy looks a little bit confused about Spike's departure and a little like, oh, disappointed or something like that. And like, again,
Mixed signals.
like, yeah, why do you care? When will he be back? Why do you care? And I love how
What is he doing? Ugh.
he's like strutting across some desert sands.
So strange. It's like a Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day strut. Like it's such a thrill. Eat my shit strut.
Right.
And that tribesman is like, dude, don't go that way. No, seriously, don't go that way.
Right?
No, stop, don't. Okay.
He doesn't try very hard. He's just like, I tried. And Spike is all, I wasn't asking for permission. So he goes into this cave. And there's all these, paintings on the walls of things I don't understand. A lot of people being impaled.
It's an interesting cave.
And a being comes out from the darkness and talks like this about blah, blah, blah.
He's got neon colored eyes. And he reminds me of the demon on Angel, Skip. I'm like, come out of the shadow, Skip. Stop fucking around.
Skip.
Come on.
Skip. Yes. He does look a lot like we just see like really just like an outline of him, and his outline does look like Skip's. Like only we don't know if he's got that weird face piercing,
Right?
Because he's in the shadows. So there's this exchange between Spike and this demon. And Spike is complaining a lot about, the bloody chip in his head and everything's gone to hell and, this bitch that and this bitch slayer this. And it's like, okay, I need you to tone down the bitches, first of all. So there's all this talk about, how Buffy has been treating him wrong and she wouldn't do so. She wouldn't get a chance to if it weren't for that chip. And this chip has been like the fucking bane of my existence. And the demon's like, you used to be this legendary dark warrior. What the fuck happened to you, man? What happened to you?
Castrate you.
Right. Sir, it's not exactly like that.
It was the chip. It's like Lee.
I did not come here to be insulted so terribly.
And it's so many insults. He's like, look. I just want to do this trial thing, get what I came for. He's
Right.
like, you wouldn't even survive it. You ain't
Right.
shit.
He's like, you had the audacity to crawl in here. He said audacity to crawl in here and demand restoration.
You'd never endure it.
It's like, you ain't shit. And Spike's like, hey, I'm still a warrior.
Do your worst, okay? This is so not needed in this episode. When it happens in the next episode, I'm like, it's just, you're taking me away from my plot.
Right.
Can we get back to it?
Exactly. And it's a lot. I mean, it's worth it for the payoff, but it's a lot of misdirection here because what I'm thinking is going to happen is not what happens. Like what the audience is left to believe is like what we're hoping, quite frankly. what we're thinking is going to happen is that he's going to remove this chip out of his head.
Right.
This is what we're all like, yeah, bring back badass Spike.
Right.
And it's like also like all of this talk that he's doing. It's like whatever it is that he wants restored, whatever restoration he wants, is going to be the big payback for Buffy. Buffy's going to get it. And once this happens, Buffy's going to get it.
And it's okay. I'm like, that's what you want? Get what then? What are you I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you doing? But
Back in Sunnydale, though.
But I do appreciate the lighting on Spike in this scenes.
His skin is so perfect.
Yeah. Like I do enjoy a good like half in the shadows James Marsters.
At the magic box, Xander has found Anya, and he's helping her. Apparently, she's been stuck to the spot since Willow left,
Poor thing.
which has been, again, 4+ hours.
Yeah, so many hours. Did she pee herself? Like, did she at least have? Did she at least have
I
a
don't know.
decency
That
to
stupid
just?
line in her pants. I can't stop looking at it. And they fit weird. I don't like those pants.
All right.
But I love the collar. I do love the collar and her
Right.
hair. But the payoff for this scene is that Xander learned some valuable information.
But listen, so like, He's being so sort of kind of like, help, I'm like, are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And, he's like, can we do a locator spell about, try to find Willow because she's out for blood. And Anya's like, you know what? Don't need to. I know where she is. I can feel her. And he's like, oh, is that left over from your vengeance day? She's like, not left over. And then, oh.
Penny in the air, penny drop.
Oh.
Oh.
When did that happen? And this is my burn of the week. Anya's like, when do you think?
If she could have said fuck, she would have.
Right, exactly. I would love, like, I've been a class. When do you think it happened, Xander?
Taking off her shoe, using her shoe for emphasis. And in stumbles Buffy.
But then
it literally looks like somebody threw her in the door.
But my whole thing is like, Xander, and he gets shitty about it.
He does. He does get shitty about it. Oh, Xander, I just want to stomp on your face.
She does look like somebody threw
Does it look like somebody lifted her up by the back of her pants and threw her in the door?
Hey! But what's funny is she comes from a direction where the door it's not the door.
No.
She doesn't.
You hear the door jingle. It actually says door jingles, but that's not the direction she came from.
It's like she was hiding behind the counter.
Yes. And so, after a little bit of back and forth, Xander lets Buffy know that Anya can take them to Willow.
He's like, Anya got her vengeance on again. Like, Xander.
And Buffy has this look on her face like, not now.
Not
I don't have the mental capability to unpack that.
Right. I don't have
this time.
I don't have the spoons for today for this, Xander. I just need you to keep it to yourself right now. Keep your meltdown to yourself.
So the gang hops back in that Ford Taurus.
Right. But there's also a nice little mention of, Xander's like, well, why can't you go and help Willow, Anya? Like, because, it's vengeance. She's vengeful. This is her thing. Isn't that your gig? She's like, she don't want me. Like, usually that would be, I would be obligated to do so, but she doesn't want my help. She doesn't need it. So.
Which would have made an excellent deleted scene.
Right. And so Buffy just wants for clarification is like, what side of this are you on? Like, I'm going to need to know. If we find her, are you helping? If you, like, what's going on? So Anya chooses to help them find Willow. And I guess probably mostly to just not get involved beyond that. So Willow finds Warren in the woods.
He has so many, it's like Batman. He's got trick after, did Rec give him all this shit?
Right? So he's got like all this magic and gadgets and just like regular old like axes. And he's just pulling shit out of a backpack, I guess.
He did still say he had a couple tricks up his sleeve, so I'm assuming that the tech gadgets are his,
right.
And that like that weird bubble of water he encased her in,
right,
was Rax.
Right. So he starts off with trying to like putting an axe in her back, and that does nothing.
Don't know how that did nothing. I don't understand her. If she's that powerful, we got a problem.
Right. Her magic is beyond.
She is menacing too, and he's still talking shit.
So much shit. Like she is like
talking down to her.
Oh my god! Like
cute trick, bitch. Do you know what's about to happen? Do you not see the black hair? Do you not question the black hair and the new? You know Willow,
right? He talks mad shit up until the very end, basically. Like he keeps
even after he's all tied up,
right? Once you're tied up, dude, she got you. Like, you need to stop right now. But he's still going on about, like, being, like, really misogynistic and just, like, being really, like, talking downward, oh, God, are we going to talk about our feelings now? And, oh, my God. And I don't know if it's a trick from the writers for the dialogue or, like, this is just supposed to be, like, true to what this character is. But they're really doing a lot for us to be like, you know what? Kill him. Like for the audience to just be like, we don't care. Like, do it, Willow.
Especially when he loses his shit over Katrina.
Right.
When she makes Katrina appear and he doesn't want to talk to her.
Right. When because he's talking so much madness about, how women are all the same and you guys suck and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, Tara wasn't your first kill. like you've done this before. And she does a reveal spell, and out comes Katrina's ghost, I assume.
And she's so sad. Why would you do this to me, Warren? And you deserved it, bitch.
Right.
Oh. Uh-huh. Do your worst, Willow.
Yep, do it. Game on. Let's do this. And we all sit and watch as she
brings the bullet out.
Yeah, oh my God. This is some of this is the best. Like, honestly, like I wish there were more reasons for magic in like a lot of other films and stuff for somebody to be able to do this because this is brilliant. She has the bullet that was she didn't steal Tara's bullet. She got Buffy's.
She stole Buffy's.
Right. So she's got Buffy's bullet, and she magically slowly puts it into Warren, and she's like describing everything that happens when a bullet hits the body to him, about the central nervous system shutting down and blowing out your spine, and like
it was scary.
It was chilling. She
and she sewed his mouth shut.
Yeah.
So he couldn't even scream.
Yeah. Just the way that Allison is great, because I love the fact that there's really no yelling or hollering from Willow during all of this. She's not, this raving lunatic. She's calmly talking to him about everything that's happening and about why he's a piece of shit and why this is happening to him. And
she even has a moment where you can see it in her face where she feels bad about, like, she realizes what she's doing. But Warren is Warren.
Yep.
And I think he says something that just snaps her right out of that.
His whole demeanor. He's so dismissive. That's like not just demeaning, but like dismissive.
Mm.
And he doesn't actually start to even try to beg for his life until she's going at it with the bullet.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine the pain that he's in.
Right.
And yet he still manages to talk down to her.
Mm-hmm.
And says that she doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to kill him because everybody will know. And
right.
they don't, what are they going to do? And lovely Willow, when she goes evil, sticks true to who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And with a simple board now, she rips his flesh off of his bones.
And Buffy and Xander and Anya arrive just in time to see that.
Just in time.
Right as the flame
It's indescribable. It's probably the most gnarly thing they've done on the show.
Yeah.
It's intense. And we do have to remember it is a human.
Right.
But unlike most villains in media, Willow cleans up after herself.
Oh my God. It's like, yeah. Nobody, no crime.
Because she makes that body disappear.
Nobody, no crime.
Nobody, no crime. Prove it. Everybody else, nobody, no crime. The other body's a robot. I ain't do shit.
Right. She sets it on fire and the ashes disappear. Gone into the ether.
And she says, one down.
And then she's gone. Teleports somewhere.
And the next episode, credits, fade to black. And the next episode is, I think, actually called 2 to Go.
Yeah.
And this is where I think Willow goes a bit off the rails, as we'll talk about next week, is this was Warren.
Yeah.
Revenge on Warren. Mm-hmm. What she does in this next episode, they didn't have anything to do with this.
This is true. Like, they honestly, like, they were passengers in this crazy car ride. Like, they weren't
even there.
Right.
They were in jail.
Right. They did a bunch of stupid shit along the way, but none of it was, none of it equated to death, to murder. So, yeah. We'll get into it for the next one. One of the things
Because
that
there's turns.
Yes.
Can't wait.
one of the things that we did not mention about this one, and when she's talking to Warren, when she's torturing him, and she is, we see a glimpse of Willow, old Willow, regular Willow, when she talks about how it's not fair that Warren is still there, is still alive, and he took Tara away. And when she says that he took her light away from her and from the world, that is so heartbreaking. And you just see like the look in her face, in her eyes. She just like for a hot second, like regular Willow comes back and gets a little misty eyed. And that's when, then it clicks back off. It's like, oh yeah, I was doing something.
Because he's a dick again.
He is. So I can't say that I'm sad to see him go. Deuces, Warren. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. He's our burn of the week. The board now.
Literally.
It is burn, literally, of the week. And you added in Anya's.
Yes.
And then I also added in anytime he mentioned being part of the trio and no one having any idea what he was talking about.
The trio, you've heard of us.
I'm sorry.
What are you, a band or something?
That was my favorite. What are you, a band?
Oh.
We had a couple bodies dropped. The Warren bot was dropped by Dark Willow, and Warren was burned alive and flayed by Dark Willow.
Woof.
I guess this one passes the Bechdel test because it's mostly all talk about Willow or Warren.
Yeah. So definitely like Buffy and Anya talking about Willow. And even just Willow and Buffy talking about Tara. And
Dawn talking about Tara. And
right. So yes, we have a clear pass of the Bechdel test.
Finally. A random trivia for this episode. Amber Benson was removed from the opening credits only one episode after joining them, but this episode actually marks her final appearance. The cast and crew presented her with a tombstone cake after her scene was completed.
Oh.
And when Willow says bored now before exacting her revenge, she's making a reference to, well, she's not making a reference. The writers are making a cute little wink and a nod to Vampire Willow from the Wish verse, who also used that as her catchphrase. It's just Willow being evil.
Always a favorite.
Mm-hmm. Moral of this story, if you're going to kill someone, make sure they're dead. Otherwise, you could get played. So nobody wants to get played.
No. So let us know what you think about Villains. You can send us an MP3 file less than 2 minutes and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com and we would play it on the air. Or you can talk to us on Twitter or Facebook and stuff and share your thoughts. Next week, as we mentioned, is 2 to go, which is also how many episodes left in the season. So we'll get some answers about what happens with Dark Willow after this incident and what is Buffy going to do? How is she going to respond to this? Now her best friend has killed a human. Shudder gasp. And what is Spike talking about in that cave? What does he want? What does he want restored? And who is his demon?
How many bugles does Clem have? How long before Dawn tries to break the coop?
Exactly. So join us next time for that and more. And in the meantime, subscribe, follow, like us. And you can find me, Camila, on Twitter at @the_rugged_angel.
Or me, Marcel, at msphere7338.
All right, kids, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.